Assalamu alaikum, Ustad. I have a question, how to stay positive when things go wrong and you blame yourself and think maybe Allah doesn't love you or you did something wrong.
Sorry. Question says, with regards to blaming yourself and having this negative notion that it's my fault and that this black cloud is following me around because of what I did, and so on and so forth. What to do? Perhaps. Allah clearly tells us in His book that there are misfortunes, there are sins, there are punishments, there's lack of barakah, there are consequences for what our hands put forth. We reap what we sow. There's no doubt about that. But do I know what Allah has accepted or not accepted? Do I know what Allah is punishing me for or not? Do I know if Allah is testing me or putting me through a fitna? I don't know. Nor do you know. The qadr, what happens, what takes place is the secret of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. As it's mentioned in some narrations, some of the Sahaba would say, إِنَّ الْقَدْرَ سِرُّ اللَّهِ فَلَا نَكْشِفُهُ يعني لا نحاول أن نكشفه لأننا لا نستطيع أصلا أن نكشف هذا السر وإنما المقصود لا نحاول. The qadr is the secret of Allah. And we don't try to discover that secret because we can't. No one but Allah knows these things. So it could be a test and it could be a fitna. How do you know? You don't know. So therefore you roll with the punch with the next subhanahu wa ta'ala. Something doesn't go your way, there's some difficulty, don't kill yourself. Don't fall into a depressed state. Do not allow the shaitan to make things worse. But bid'inai ta'ala, be resilient. Adjust and adapt to the situation. Try to fix it. It may not be a punishment, it may be a what? A test, a fitna, to raise your rank, to raise your role. And just because you're going through things doesn't mean that Allah hates you and that Allah is displeased. Does not mean that. It could mean that, but you don't know for sure. How often or how many times was Yusuf alayhi salam punished and humiliated and disgraced? His brothers, when he was a young boy, the people bought him as a slave. They sold him as a slave. They sold him, darahima? Said just a few coins. They got rid of him. He was put in a house with a scandalous woman. The leader, the king, the owner, he knew that his wife wasn't telling the truth. He knew that. It was clear that his wife wasn't what? Telling the truth, and she was scandalous. Yet still, he was put in jail for a very long time. And the same king who put him in jail, what do you think the jail was like at Yusuf's time? Do you think it was a bed and a cot? Do you think it was a TV? Do you think it was air conditioning? Do you think it was heat in the summer? Like a dungeon. A bad place to be in, a grim, dim place to be in for a long time. And the same king who put him in that jail unjustly came back to him when he needed him. You put me in there all of these years, now you want my service? Of course not. Get lost. That's what we want to say. Yusuf didn't do that. And look what happened at the end. Yusuf alayhi salam, he became the master, the chief, the leader. He was in charge. He had power. He had authority. His brothers came back. And the list goes on to that amazing story. So just because something is happening to you and something is not going your way does not mean that Allah is angry with you. It does not mean Allah is punishing you. It may not. You do not know. So constantly make repentance. Constantly ask Allah to forgive you. Stay positive. Continue to strive to walk forward. Be patient upon the trial. Be thankful upon the blessing. And it's just that simple. Anything other than that is going to allow shaitan to attack your mind and to attack your soul. And it may lead to apostasy. Allah knows best.